How often are you sharing at least part of your personal story, part of your journey with other people in whatever line of work you're in? You know, I'm sitting here at the Hat Shell in Boston, and just over a week from now, when I'm taping this, there will be thousands of people on this very green and all the surrounding areas for the 4th of July. This is where the Boston Pops plays right there. It's nationally televised along with DC and Philly, I think. And there's literally thousands of people here enjoying themselves. And I was sitting here and thinking about, you know, some times that I had with friends on this very green. This goes back quite a few years, and it inspired me to share a little bit about something personal to me, and not about my stories from back on the 4th of July here. I won't share those here. But no, those were fun. But something else as it relates to the journey that I'm on now. You know, what is it that I'm out there doing to help people become great communicators? What is part of my fabric as a high performance coach who focuses on communications and growing your influence that's inspiring me, helping me be a better coach, helping me connect with people? And one of those things is, very early on in several of my jobs, the first several months, I always had a few people, might have been a little more, it might have been a little less, but there were always 2 or 3 people that I knew of who would come to me. This was after they got to know me a little bit, and say, Scott, you were really hard to read early on. You were really hard to, I couldn't tell if you were happy, sad, angry, mad, good inside, just focused on work, whatever the case. I couldn't get a read on you, but now that I know you, I love working with you. I love being around you. I love having you in my circle. I love being on your team, having you on my, whatever the case may have been. I like it now. I'm glad, and that's why I'm telling you this. But early on, I could not get a read on you. And that's something that I always was aware and mindful of. And it never actually surprised me when that would happen, because I knew that I was a little closed off in several of my new jobs. I wouldn't open up personally at all with people until I got to know them a little bit. And I was usually super focused, and I know that's an easy story to fall back on. I'm just focused. But I really was pretty serious when I would start my jobs. I'm calling myself out on that, and I think it showed in a lot of my external demeanor. So now I'm very aware of this, especially because as a coach, I'm meeting people regularly, new people, in front of rooms of people. I'm doing workshops, I'm doing talks, and I'm connecting one-on-one with somebody, and I have to make sure that none of those people, I may not be for them. I might not be the coach for them based on my content, what I deliver, how I deliver, what I help with. But I don't want people to cut me off because upon seeing me or being in a room with me or working with me for a little bit, they're saying, I can't tell who this guy is, therefore I don't want to be around him. That's something that I can do a little bit of a better job at. So a couple things that I'm doing to help counter that, and if you can relate, if any of this story is relating to you, if you've ever had somebody who's told you, you know, hey, I couldn't get a read on you early on. I like you now, you're awesome, but early on I just couldn't tell where your head was at. These could help you too. These tips could help you. So number one, always make sure you're smiling, right? We got to make sure we're smiling as we connect with and get in front of and get around people. And don't make it a fake smile. Just smile, even small, once in a while, to share that, you know, you're in a good place. You're happy to be there. And another really big key is, you know, sharing, doing what I'm doing right now. Share a little bit of a personal story or experience that allows people to come in, you know, the door a little bit with you and find a connection or relatability point. It's so important when you share a personal experience that has meaning in your life, just like this story of having had several people tell me in my career, like, hey Scott, you were really hard to get a read on early on. Well, I learned from that, number one. It was very helpful for me to reflect on those experiences, but also it taught me lessons that I now carry forth as a coach, that I want to make sure that I'm not giving that impression now. And I can even share this with other people. And here I am doing it with you. This is a very personal story with me, and I'm sharing it with you in order to hopefully help if you're struggling with that same problem, okay? So smile, have a personal experience or story that you can share with people in the right way, at the right time, in the right place. You don't want to run in on day one of a new job. You know, you might have a little get to know you with somebody, but, you know, pick and choose where you're doing that. And you know, always be curious. Another one I'll throw in there, always be curious about other people. That really helps. Always be super curious about others, because you'll be showing interest in them. You'll allow them to talk about themselves, and that's naturally going to draw them to you too. So what's a personal story that's helping you or affecting you in your career today, or in your work, or in your personal life, in your relationships? Something that's going to be helpful to bring clarity for you, growth for you, and allow other, be helpful to other people as well, and allow other people to gravitate to you a little bit, okay? I hope this story helped. I'm glad I shared it. Why not? And I'm gonna do whatever I can to control that impression and energy that I'm giving off on people or around people when I can. Work on your communication. It's a big difference maker in your life, in your career, in your business, all that, okay? I'll see you next time. Bye.